Hello and welcome to the midday update live from the studios of the Government Information Service National Television Network. I am Lisa Joseph. Alongside with me is a very trusted friend, as always, and colleague, Primus Hutchinson. And we have with us in studio for this live update, we have Corporal Ann Joseph of the Public Relations Office of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. And a little later on, we'll be welcoming the Police Commissioner acting, Milton, Desir. We're going to move over to Corporal Joseph, who will be giving us some of the statistics and data on the sort of actions of the police force over the last few weeks.
Okay, good day, Lisa, and how are you? Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, so we felt it necessary at this point to provide an update to the persons in St. Lucia on what exactly has been transpiring with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force as it relates to our crime fighting initiatives. So I will firstly speak in general over the last, for the last 2 weeks, and then give an update for what we've been doing so far for the year 2020. Over the last 2 weeks, we've recorded a total of 3 vessels being seized by the Police Marine Unit, and that was in relation to various offenses, including possession of controlled substances. So we have 3 vessels currently in possession, the police currently have in possession for these offenses for the last 2 weeks. Also, for the year 2020, we can say that we have recorded a total of 21 homicides, and out of those, we have 13 of them being dealt with. 9 of these have resulted in arrests. These matters are currently before the court, and 2 of them are pending the inquest process. So that is pending inquest, and 9 of them are actually before the criminal court. We have, so far for the year 2020, 50 firearms have been recovered by the police. That's various units, including the drug unit and stations across the island. We can report that as of 3 a.m. today, I know this is a matter of interest, 3 a.m. today, the 16th of June 2020, 3 males were actually arrested as they were attempting to introduce prohibited articles into the Bodley Correctional Facility. And that included what is believed to be cannabis, a cell phone, and other paraphernalia. So those persons are actually still in custody. They're at the Dennery Police Station awaiting charges. I will now give you some statistics as it relates to the operations of the drug unit. And they actually collaborated with various units, including the Special Services Unit, our Crime Management Department, and other stations across the island to bring about these results. So for the year 2020, we have recorded a total of 319 operations spearheaded by the drug unit. 74 warrants were executed on various premises. We had 37 of these were special operations, and they resulted in the seizure of 504 articles of ammunition. Also, 24 persons were arrested from these operations. We had a total of 321 kilograms of cannabis being seized, 33 grams of cannabis resin being seized, 8.827 kilograms of cocaine was seized, and 6 grams of crack. Right. And as I said, these operations were joint efforts between the drug unit and other departments and stations within the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Out of the 50 firearms that we had being seized by police, 22 of those were actually seized by the drug unit of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. So these are our general statistics, and with that, it brings me to the matter which took place on, was it Sunday, with the protest action, the procession. We have one person who was arrested and charged from that incident. His name is Christopher Hunt. He was formally charged for for the offense of inviting persons to take part in a public match, which contravenes Section 14C of the Public Order Act. And his bail conditions, he has received bail, so he's currently on bail, were to report to the Grosley Police Station every Wednesday before 7 p.m. To pay the sum of $500 cash or suitable surety, and not to interfere with the prosecution witnesses, to surrender his travel documents, and to not apply for any further travel documents without the permission of the court. That matter has been adjourned to the 23rd of next month at the 1st District Court. And that is it as it relates to our updates thus far.
And we want to say thank you so much for that information. A lot to digest there. We'll be taking a short break. When we come back, we'll be having the Police Commissioner, Milton, Desir, who will be expounding on some of those points.
In a world where germs are widespread, comes a group of superhero germ busters, the germaphobes.
We spend most of our time fighting germs, every day of the week. After I play, I wash my hands. Before I eat, I wash my hands. After I play with my puppy, I wash my hands. I cover my sneezes with my forearm or elbow when I am in public. And I cover my cough to avoid spreading dangerous germs. We are the germaphobes, germ-busting superheroes. You can be too. Always wash your hands and cover your sneeze and cough. Let's stop the spread of menacing germs.
We'll be back, germaphobes, with more powerful germs.
And we will be waiting to prevent you from spreading.
Coronavirus? But children are safe, no?
Hold up. Children are actually more likely to touch all kinds of surfaces, put their hands on their mouths and their eyes, or sneeze and cough with little thought about hygiene when around others. While children have been seen to recover well from this virus, they can easily spread it to those more at risk, like the elderly or ill persons who have a weaker immune system. Teach the little ones in your care to be little powerhouses of infection prevention. Keep reminding them, wash your hands. Cover your mouth with tissue or your inner elbow when you sneeze and cough. And be sure to praise them when you see them taking these precautions. Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Thank you so much for staying with us. In studio now is the Police Commissioner Acting Milton Desir. Good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you so much for taking the time off to come to speak to some of the pressing matters coming up in the public domain.
Yes, good afternoon, Lisa. Good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, all. Yeah.
So we want to pick up where Sergeant Joseph left off regarding Sunday's event. And I think that is certainly something, Corporal Joseph, pardon me for that, that is something that's certainly in the public domain. When did the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, if it did, receive an application for this event that took place, a mass event that took place on Sunday?
Okay, there was no application for that event, actually up to the last working day before the Sunday. That was around 4 p.m. when I left office. There's nothing that had come to the Commissioner's office requesting permission. However, I must also indicate that even if permission, that request came, it may not have been granted simply because because of the emergency powers COVID-19 law, that the Commissioner would not be in a position to grant permission for those events.
Okay. Which is almost what happened with
Yes, and
the Black Lives Matter,
yes,
which
that
happened
is
on
what
Friday.
happened with the Black Lives Matter event. It's just that the police commissioner, it's not whether the commissioner wants to do it or not. In fact, let me put it straight. If I did it, I would be acting against the law. So I do not want to act against any law, so it will not be done. And I need persons to know that going forward. It is just what the law requires, that you need to get permission from the commissioner. However, the commissioner is not in a position now to give any permission. Now, if you do it on your own, or you go contrary to whatever law, there are certain actions that the police has to take, and these actions are specified under the Public Order Act. So unlike what we see flying in Facebook, where persons were directed to arrest certain individuals, that is not so. And we only arrest persons who has breached the law. And that is what I don't think any politician need to tell me that. From the time I am 35, almost 36 years service in the force. So I know who to arrest, who not to arrest, based on if they have breached the law.
Okay. Let's break down the events, Sunday's events. Because what we would have, for persons who were home, what they would have seen on videos circulating on social media would be police dressed in their fatigues, from the SSU unit. They would have their shotguns in arms. It seemed an alarming scene, certainly, and it almost seemed as if that there was a standoff that would have occurred between the police and the members of the public. What were the orders that were given to the police officers?
Okay, first of all, let me begin by saying that whenever there is an event, it's our duty to police that event. So in terms of security, say for example, permission was given for the match to go ahead, or the motorcade, if permission was given, we would have to use resources to man those events, so that persons now would, if any offense had been committed during that event, that the police would be there to take action. So whether permission was granted or not, there would have been police officer. Now, under the Public Order Act, and that is what the Act tends to deal with, it is in maintenance, the maintenance of law and order in the state. And where persons have failed to adhere to any other breach that may be committed, even if it's not under the Act, you are liable to be prosecuted. So the police being out there was to ensure that law and order is maintained. And number one, we prepared, because it was, and again, with the advent of social media, it was all over, that persons would have come to that protest, which was not approved. And the duty of the police is to prevent it. We cannot allow persons to break the law. There were other things that we had the power to do, we did not do it. And I must commend the officers for their resilience, but there was not any instance of force being used. But I must put it out there to persons that whichever side, we know persons' ideas are flying out and so on, whichever side, whether it is the government in power, whether it is the opposition, if permission is not granted, you cannot have the event, and the police will stop it.
There is a public understanding in some quarters that the police force seem to have singled out individuals.
Yes, the answer to that is yes and no. Simply, again, I'm referring back to the Act, Public Order Act. It gives the police the power to go to the persons who they believe have organized that event. So you are singling out them, first of all. I know persons are saying why it started with Richard, but Richard was not arrested. But what did he do? He came there, and persons, and that is the report I got from the commander on the ground, that he came there and said, hey, the police has not given us permission, so we are not going to have this motorcade. So leave, go to your homes, it was said. So he have taken himself off, but somebody else take it over.
And so the police now.
And the
was
police has
certainly-
to take action. And we will take action. We will continue to take action once that continues to occur.
There were a number of reports circling in the public domain that people were charged for participating or certainly or even wearing particular colors on that day. Can you speak to that? Are you aware of any such incidents occurring?
No, I'm not aware of any such incident occurring about persons having various colors, and so I'm not aware of it. And I don't think that wearing of colors at that point constituted any offense, really.
So explain to us why you had individual vehicles stopped and some of the drivers were asked about their destination, about their time out. Why was that done?
Okay, when a commander is on the ground, he would assess the situation, and every situation would pose itself differently. You assess your situation and know what strategy are you going to use to, and as I said before, it is prevention. We are preventing. So one of the things that I understood from the commander on the ground was, there would have been persons caught in that line who were about their own business, going probably traveling from Castries to Soufrière. So they may have identified persons there who were not part of the planned motorcade, and then to pull them off. Now, I must also say that in effecting an arrest, we had to be careful there. We had about probably on the ground at the time, maybe the number's not correct, but maybe 20 or so officers at the market. Do you try to arrest protesters? Do you try to arrest somebody from that crowd where the crowd was over 200 persons?
So it becomes a safety issue,
right, so
on both
it becomes
sides.
a safety issue. So you have to devise a way of getting that individual that you need to arrest.
We want to go to some of the questions posed by members of the media. The invitation was given out for the members of the media, the reporters, to send in their questions. We have some questions coming in from Choice Television. Are there plans to execute any arrests in relation to Friday's illegal Black Lives Matter rally? If there are no plans, what's the justification for that?
Okay, again, that was an event that persons applied for permission. Again, Commissioner was unable to give the requisite permission to hold it. It was communicated to them in writing, in as much as the law requires you to apply in advance, and the time which the law required, it was not within that time. I still took the opportunity to write to persons informing them that it was not approved and give the reason. The law required of the commissioner to give the reason. And that, the reason at the time was because of the COVID, the emergency order act that is in effect, and that was given to them. However, persons chose to go ahead with it, so without permission. Now, by doing this, persons have committed an offense. It is straightforward. However, as I say again, there was a commander on the ground who saw the need to deal with it in the way that he dealt with it, and reported to the commissioner after. I know in a clip I saw he said that we would explore every avenue which may be to arrest. Okay, but it remains that, and the commissioner has taken a decision with that officer, indicate that, okay, I am satisfied with the way that he handled the situation, and I call it the end of it. Okay, so I am not going to ask anybody to arrest any individual. However, I need persons to know that they committed an offense by not complying.
Okay. We have another question coming in from Choice Television. Will police be taking any action against Prime Minister Alan Chasney and members of Parliament who were seen on video breaching several social distancing protocols in communities such as Oleon, Choiseul, Soufrière, and Ancillary last weekend?
Okay, I must say that action has been taken. And and as I said before, every situation determines the situation on the ground. It would determine how persons attend to it. From what I saw, and it was not it was on the day after, from videos of he being at certain places. What I saw was persons with even carrying red around him, trying to, I don't know if they were scolding him, chastising him. So these are persons I don't think that the Prime Minister planned to have a motorcade with persons in red. I don't think that. However, what I saw and what I picked out was that he was not wearing a mask at the time. I picked that out. So the communication was, we communicated, and from information that I received, I have sent the face shields. We were here thing. I sent 20. There were 17 members of Parliament. I sent 22 free extras, so that each member, because there's a understanding that certain persons cannot wear the mask, and I'm not putting it in terms of the Prime Minister. In the general public, somebody would tell you that if I feel stifled, I faint when I have the mask. So we send something that is softer. So it is that face shield. So if persons are in public, that they would wear the face shield would be a substitute for the mask. So that is action taken. And as I said, every situation is different.
So to your estimation, did the Prime Minister at all hold mass events, to your estimation?
No. Actually, again, from what I understood, there was no mass crowd event being held by the Prime Minister. There was not a planned event. I got being in charge of security, I got to know that the day after. So it's not like he wanted or he seek permission. There was no, from all indication, there was no intention of holding any mass crowd event by the Prime Minister.
Okay, we have a question coming in from Miguel Favre of MBC Television. Why wasn't Christopher Hunt bailed on his own recognizance? Okay,
during COVID, again, 19, listeners, please remember that we are not in ordinary times. We are under the Emergency Orders Act. That the senior magistrate sent correspondence to the Commissioner of Police informing of the manner in which bail hearings should be done, and the days that she would have the hearing and what the procedures that would be taken. And it was said on no certain terms that we could have given self-bail, the police, at that point. So he said we need to communicate with her, and then she would dictate whether the person comes in person, whether she can do it on her own, and so on. So, but the police, during COVID-19, the police could not have given self-bail.
Okay. One other question coming in there for Choice before we move across into our Creole section. How does the police force respond to the claim that the force has fallen victim to political interference and officers are acting on the whims of those in power? There have been several criticisms of the considerable use of police resources on Sunday.
I think I have touched on the need for the police resources, but let me inform again that at no time that the police is acting based on information or based on directives from any political individual. It has not happened, and it will not happen, and I don't think there's any intention for it to happen. There is an event. The duty of the police is to protect lives and property, and that is what we would do. If we are aware that there is an event, whether it is authorized or not, as I said, based on your threat assessment, you will know how many persons you need to police that event. And this is what we will continue to do.
All right, let's take a pause and say hello to Primus. Primus, thank you so much for the patience there.
Thanks, Lisa. Merci, merci madame. Nous, comme Lisa dit, nous ici car mener activité comme que qu'a fait command center là pour adresser tout développement qu'a fait au pays, regarder maladie corona, activité qu'a pris en diverses façons. Nous et puis nous chef police Milton Desir ici encore pour expliquer divers développements qui fait en semaine qui passé. Il y en a de ces plus grands développements. Ces affaires protestation qui étaient faites sans permission police et que quand monsieur le commissionnaire a expliqué en anglais, nous avons demandé au commissionnaire pour dire directement quelle qualité d'action qui était pour protestation ça là. Ça nous apprend que monsieur Richard Frederick qui était premier monde qui était visible à l'action ça là. Les polices expliquaient qu'il va tenir permission pour faire, nous apprendre que chef police l'a expliqué là qu'il était conseillé ces gens qui étaient là pour protester, pour aller à Caillou et il pas encouragé pour continuer, mais affaire à continuer. Ça a été le résultat d'un côté commissionnaire pour police pour arrêter un certain monde. Nous voulons comme chef police l'a expliqué, ben nous demandons ça en fait côté qui M. Richard parti encouragé pour faire pour que la situation continue. Dis-nous comment ça a passé, comment ça a été nécessaire pour arrêter le monde.
Oui, comme moi j'ai déjà expliqué l'anglais, je vais essayer de dire par toi. La tenue, yon motocycle, nous te ouais, yo te advertise en les télévisions et advertise en les Facebook côté qui monsieur Richard Frederick te kakouye moun il dit qui ou c'est les bas qui ou c'est UWP et puis ou pas d'accord et puis chasse qui ouvert qui n'importe couleur où y venir descendre Castry moi also te tan un clip ça that était ka di moun yo pas te briser permission pour yo tenir en motocycle so moun descend et puis nous préparer pour nous because la pas tenir pièce application pour sortir et puis loi ka di pour ni pièce bagay comme ça ou ni pour faire application by ministre police commissioner of police so ni pour faire application et pour ni pour espérer une réponse pour ça pour faire nous avons moun ka fait yo ka mettre bagay yo ka advertise yo ka di yo ka ni even show yo ka et puis yo pour commander permission pour ni so ça c'est un bagay encore nous ni pour garder ou ni pour veiller application bonnet bien bonnet so ka savent sous une permission avec den nous ka advertise mais lo advertise c'est comme si vous voulez marrer la main police pour police la ka démarrer la main so ça nous fait nous préparer corps et puis nous dit nous pas quitter match ça là aller monsieur Richard Frederick nous savons il vini et qui dit c'est moun qui était déjà assemblé là il dit yo pas ni police pas ba yo permission pour faire et puis yo pas ni match là so tout le monde aller là caillou so il dit ça mais après il dit ça yo nom Christopher Hunt vini et te ka di moun côté pour yo ay joindre machine qui route yo kay point parce yo kay continuer match là so ça c'est raison Christopher Hunt te pique li pour arrêter mais c'est pas Christopher Hunt yo pas arrêter Christopher Hunt parce que personne dit arrêter Christopher Hunt police la te like yo ça qui fait et puis yo arrêter bon moi aussi qu'a dit tout le monde qui a participé en motocycle ça là c'est yo commis offense OK mais police décidé OK est-ce nous ka arrêter tout le monde parce yo te ka dit yo ni motocycle vini yo ni motocycle moun vini but délai moun ignorant et ko pas savent si ou brise permission ben yo te là parce que ça nous fait après police te jadi yo passe ni motocycle là yon nom te ka commandé well m'a vle bay évidence parce que que ça la kay aller payer aller l'audience so pas de payer il kay aller l'audience so, mais ça c'est ça qui fait yon nom nous believe qui était ka take part qui était lead qui était ka encourager moun pour en aller même si police d'ici police pas ni pouvoir pour dire en aller so nous arrêté nom ça là et puis comme moi t'ai dit avant moun pe ka dit qui manière pas t'ai arrêté ka suivre si la tenu 20 police en crowd là la tenu plus qui 200 et 300 moun so nous fil nous pas vle pièce nous pas vle pièce désagrément between ces membres là qui t'ai ka attendé et puis police côté police tenu pour servir force pour arrêter personne so pour commander en l'air à terre qui était ouais qui toute bagaille allait bien faire plein pour qui manière yo arrêter nom ça là pour il pas mener et puis faire plein et puis arrêter
est-ce que dans pièce durant temps protestation ça de aller est-ce que police ouais côté ces gens qui étaient protester t'es poser pièce menace pour ces polices là est-ce qu'elle a une pièce situation comme ça
oui moi pas kay dit en généralement mais ou ka joindre comme moun kay dit c'est police là c'est gouvernement une fa chasse yo même qu'on chasse dit yo fait ci chasse dit yo fait ça ou ka joindre c'est bagay ça
from plus qui parole mais pas une pièce action quand mutué quand dit yo te voulait attaquer police
non nous pas tenir so mais nous te ka try avoid ça parce que si ou ka pour un homme qui moun ka suivre il ka bay commande et ou ka suivre ou ka tirer nous police ka quoi ça ja fait avant c'est les autres membres qui ka attendre puis try pour avoid police arrêter so nous pas te vle ça fait ça pas meni pas ça fait mais nous te ka garder qui manière ou te kay fait aisé pas ni pièce trois quarts ou aller en côté ko la pas ni moun ko trafic passe à tourner et puis bagay comme ça et puis ou pour moun là et puis aller
en situation monsieur Christopher Hunt si un cas est trouvé condamné pour ça l'audience qui devait condamner et qui qualité condamnation ça jeune devant la loi pour ça
well comme en bas à la côté il était ça joindre condamné yon $1000 et ben 3 mois la jol 6 mois la jol pardon
mais quand elle est devant
oui quoi parce que il y a sous caution oui ça
so situation ça là si mon décidé pour vier faire application pour faire l'autre protestation loi quand loi dit la pas pièce manière police ça ba yo permission pour ça fait
non police pas ça commissionnaire pas ça ba yo et puis moi voulais moun comprendre ça c'est pas parce que chassné dit passer ça ou ka ouais en l'air qui ka aller chassné dit commissionnaire pas bail permission même quand si l'autre side là UWP si yo vle ni pièce motocycle commissionnaire pas ça prouver qui pas cahier prouver si yo commencer nous kay do boutler so ça c'est pouvoir loi bail commissionnaire c'est lui qui a décider si ni permission non et puis comme moi qu'a dit à Boise moi pas ça décider ça parce que là ni Covid et puis là ni loi qui a gouverner Covid ko qu'a dit ou pas ça ni c'est mass crowd event ça là ou pas ça ni
l'année parole généralement qui a dit il est venu pour législation qui ignorance des lois c'est pas pièce excuse mais est-ce que là les moun ka quoi qui ce moun qui était véritablement derrière protestation ça là est-ce que il pas directement c'est savent qui il parti il parti yon bagay yon action qui était supposé faire est-ce que pas savent que loi te ka montrer ça ben si yo pas te connaître rien de ça
yo te connaître parce que de ces moun nan qui te ka participer, yo même c'est avocat. So si yo sous c'est avocat et pour pas connaître, c'est pas toute loi ou kay ni de tête ou mais ou kay savent qui livre pour aller à et puis pour faire research qui livre ou kay li loi en bas COVID-19 ou kay li loi en bas Public Order Act et ou kay savent qui ça pour faire et puis moi ka dit that les ça nous te prend en considération dimanche that les main nom là qui te ka promoter match ça là et ben ça qui moto que de la vie ni devant et qui dit yo police là a dit yo pas ni permission yo pas ça ni match ça là encore so aller au mort il dit ça so,
mais c'est mon pas
pas
semble c'est mon côté conseil ça
yo pété côté mais là dans l'autre nom qui vient avec dit yo côté pour un bus et puis côté pour qui route yo kay passer.
Monsieur le commissionnaire, avant moi de présenter les qui qualité conseil pour le membre public, puisque le membre public, tout le monde ne peut pas dire comprendre toute loi et qui a gouverné à faire protestation, la loi qui a gouverné ce qui n'est pas fait au public. Conseil, qui qualité conseil pour le public là, généralement, en situation comme ça, cette liste. Particulièrement quand nous avons la sélection des maladies corona.
Oui, depuis nous ni ça nous a créé emergency order act là depuis il active depuis qu'on y a activé commissionnaire ça a tiré pouvoir commissionnaire ni pour approuver activité et moi voulais moun comprendre ça. OK, moi pas ça aller puis dit moi ka bay pièce groupe li. Moi pas ça là mais moi qu'on a dit là moi oui moi pas ça bay pièce permission bon si un groupe pas ni permission pour faire yon bagay c'est droit police pour do boutli parce que si ou pas ça ni so ça yon est pour faire now c'est espérer les emergency order act les yo kay lever loi en bay pour moins vier en les Public Order Act là pour approuver activité. So moi mon hani tout yo ni tout bagay pour dire chaque bagay pour dire c'est parce que Premier ministre a dit moi pas bay pouvoir parce que tel monde dit pas bay pouvoir nous ka coûter police ka non c'est pas ça c'est ça nous ça fait et ça nous pas ça fait et puis depuis moi ka dit encore depuis mon pas ni permission pour ni pièce activité qui ici en proteste qui ici parti de pour pas ni permission nous kay dou boutli et nous kay faire ça et ça nous paie pour dou boutli. OK.
Merci autant avec Lucia. Over to you.
Merci la Prime. Merci for that. Commissioner, just 2 more questions there for you before we wrap up. But as you just indicated there, that the Public Order Act, though it is there and it gives you certain powers, but certainly that the Emergency Act now really supersedes that. And so it renders that pretty much quiet at this time.
Right.
How do you see the events, Sunday's events, impacting the relations between the police force and the public? How much damage do you believe has been done in that respect, and what would you need to do in order to repair the relations?
I don't think that it has caused much damage, and you must appreciate the perceived season that we're in, being political, and you would find persons of certain political party, if they are prevented from doing certain things, they would believe that you were acting in favor of the other side. And we get that every time during election period, election season. You would get that. Persons would come and say, the police are vie Flabo sorti la, vie Leba sorti la when on the other side. So you get that. And also, being that they were unable to go ahead with their planned activity and knowing that it was the police. But they thought, or they to themselves, they were saying that the police did not do it on their own, that they got that information elsewhere and so on, which was not true. But that is how it was. But I must say, I don't think, and in fact, persons, if that was the perception of individuals, they need to think back in retrospect and realize that the police is there for law and order. We will maintain law and order. And they too, at some point, would require the assistance of police to deal with something else for them. So we are there to ensure that law is maintained without bias, without fear, and so on, and favor, and that is what we are going to do. As long as I am sitting in the commissioner's chair, I would ensure that I do everything to the best of my ability, taking that into consideration, okay? And the decision to be taken by the Commissioner of Police, it would be taken without fear or favor.
One final question there too. I know that you did refute earlier on being whether the police force or yourself acted in accordance with orders given by the Prime Minister. But the police force, along with the fire service, has benefited tremendously from the efforts of the Make It Happen Foundation. And we know that is being founded and led by the wife of the Prime Minister. So the question now becomes whether this sort of benefactor-beneficiary relationship weighs in at all on what decisions you make for the Royal St. Lucia Police Force?
No, that would never, I would never take that into consideration as to what the foundation has done for the force. What I know, we appreciate the fact that the foundation is enhancing the lives of officers, the welfare of officers, because we have so many police stations that in deplorable condition, and probably at the time the budget does not facilitate the repairs and so on, and we would call on the foundation. We have a particular kitchen where they can assist, and they do assist. Most times that information comes from the station themselves. So we have received reports where they would call directly, they would call the foundation and said, we are in need of a refrigerator for so long, but administration cannot give it to us, or they are not giving it to us. What can be done? So I think the foundation then would approach and see whether it is okay to give them. Of course, I am for the welfare of the officers, and I would agree for the officers to get certain things. I think the association is speaking about it, and then how helpful it is for them. And it is not about looking at who gave it, but that their lives have changed because of the things that they have received. Of course, if and as I am there, I'm appealing to any foundation that are willing to assist us. They could come along so that we make the lives of officers better, so that they could go out there and give the required service that is necessary.
Police Commissioner acting there, Milton Desir, want to say thank you so much for joining us, and of course thank you as well to Corporal and Joseph there earlier on with the statistics on the sort of crime fighting effort of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. In the last few weeks, we heard of 3 vessels were seized by the Marine Unit and with the charges of possession of controlled substances. So far, we've recorded 21 homicides for the year. 13 of those are very active, 9 being before the courts and 2 pending inquest investigations there. 50 firearms seized, 22 of that seized by the drug units. We've had 3 males arrested for attempting to bring in or smuggle in contraband into the Bodley Correctional Facility. Under the drug unit, we've seen 319 operations conducted for the year thus far, 70 warrants carried out. 37 of those operations were special operations or special ops. 504 articles of ammunition seized during that time, and we've seen 24 arrests. We've also had some drug seizures, 321 kilograms of cannabis, 33 grams of the cannabis resin, and 8.2 28 kilograms of cocaine with 6 grams of crack. And so the Royal St. Lucia Police Force continues to work towards the safety of all St. Lucians, despite all of the additional duties that they now have to undertake as a result of COVID-19. We want to say thank you so much to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force for keeping us safe while we sleep at night. From the Command Center, the Information Command Center, I am Lisa Joseph alongside Primus Hutchinson, saying goodbye.